right, Trinidad and Tobago. Come on in here, nothing there, boy. Two. You hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I just hear myself. All right, good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Raise up your volume.
I know get. My headset
Yeah.
All right, so good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. You're locked on to Under the Radar with yours truly, Heavy Duty and David Welch. This Wednesday afternoon, as we told you, I want to throw to you first, but the cameraman already have him in his shot now.
No, well, the camera,
right?
you don't have to watch the camera. When the camera hear me talk, he goes just click on me one time.
I just wanted him to capture you alone. He have
no problem. It's all good. You want to say good afternoon to each and everyone locked on to Talk City 91.1 FM, the number one afternoon talk show in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, sir.
It's Under the Radar and the fastest growing talk show in the afternoon. Gotta say good afternoon to all those of you locked on. If you're on work, if you're still on work, if you're heading home from work and in your vehicles, good afternoon to you. Those of you in the maxis and taxis and buses and PH cars, good afternoon to you. And of course, those of you listening to us on the World Wide Web via Facebook and YouTube, welcome. And I just want to say a heartfelt thank you for those numbers yesterday, and I hope they increase today. Right? Welcome again to Under the Radar. So
it will increase for sure. The numbers will increase today.
Yes.
This is really the fastest growing show on radio, by the way. And to Trinidad and Tobago in studio with us right now is the most prominent attorney at law. You say why I'm saying that? You are.
I thought this was Under the Radar.
So, in studio with us, as promised, is constitutional attorney Kyle Taklal Singh. And we are going to be dealing with so much right now today. So, Kyle, how are you? Good afternoon.
I am good. I'm ready to roll. Let's deal with the issues.
Ready to rumble?
Yes.
Ready to rumble.
Always,
Are we rumbling?
Yeah, we go rumble. We're gonna start rumbling. Yeah. So, on the burner, literally, is this landmark TT issue right now that the entire...
Right, bounce off. Bounce as soon as we start. Good.
We gotta go there now. We gotta hit it hard as we start. All right. So landmark TT is a major issue. $100 million for homes. All right. We have the opposition that looking at the looking at the OPR and saying, well, the OPR investigating this and investigating that, and a whole set of trula happening with landmark TT, and the fact that contracts are supposedly, right, air quotes, being awarded to Saddam Hussein's family as the Minister of Land and Legal Affairs.
At all.
Not so.
No,
right?
That's not true. Yeah.
Well, we know it's not so.
Yeah.
All right, but looking as from the eyes of an attorney at law, a constitutional attorney, that is, do you see anything wrong with the landmark TT?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've been able to mark and note some triflings in the public domain, but really that is just noise and hysteria. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the landmark TT issue in my view. First of all, let's get it clear. What is landmark TT? The minister and I think the government has been very clear as to what the project is about. It is an attempt to innovatively deal with a housing problem in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
Now, we know for a fact that HDC, former incarnation, was the NHA, right?
Yeah.
National Housing Authority, and then it became HDC. That is to deal with low-income housing. You have certain brackets of persons, depending on the income, they need housing, they can't get housing, and the HDC deals with that.
Yeah.
Landmark TT, as far as I understand it, was to deal with the just above that bracket. So sometimes you have young professionals, teachers, sometimes lawyers, doctors, etc. They aren't in the high income earning bracket as yet. They're in the middle class, lower middle income, and they also need housing. But unfortunately, they can't access HDC housing because they just make above the ceiling, and then they go to a private bank or they go to commercial banks and they can't get loans for ordinary housing because then ordinary housing, you're talking about $3-4 million. That is the price of housing. And so Landmark TT was an innovative attempt, from my perception, by the government to address young professionals, middle class, middle earners, attempt to get housing and enter the housing market by building a housing stock. Now, what does that do? Automatically, by introducing more houses in that bracket into the housing stock, you send down the prices generally of housing because now you have competition. And secondly, competition in that bracket of housing. Right?
Yeah.
And then secondly, what you have is access to housing by professionals who want to go ahead and take loans and do it. Or young, I say professional, I mean middle class earners and that sort of thing in that bracket. Not Not rich, let's just be frank. Not rich, not super earners, and not under earners. They're just in that bracket where they can't access HTC, but they can't access. And I was in that bracket for a while, I could tell you, right? So this was an innovative attempt to do that. So what happened? Let's deal with the criticisms. First criticism I hear is, the minister appointed persons that he know on different interconnecting boards. Yeah. First of all, everybody knows in Trinidad and Tobago that if you're appointed on a board, you're there to carry out government policy.
That's what we said yesterday.
And therefore, you have to be favorable or at least accept what is the policy of the government generally and the current administration. That's very clear, and that's why you have the changing of the guard and boards every time there's election. Not because we hate people, but because you've come in on a ticket, you've come in on a policy wave, and you need to appoint directors who are favorable to that.
Let's make that clear once more.
But I think that's very obvious.
Not to the general population.
In fact, I think it was Patrick Manning who said many years ago that these board members and these persons on these special boards, special purpose entities, special purpose companies, are meant to carry out government policy, and therefore, naturally, in my selection, am I going to pick somebody who hates the UNC policy? Or am I going to pick somebody who is fervent about it, who is enthusiastic about it, and who wants to get it done?
So
naturally, your selection is going to be people who you know might be in the party, might be around the party, might be favorable general to the UNC, with a mix of some professionals, independents, etc. You might put an attorney, you might put an accountant who might be in the party per se, but still favorable and willing to carry out the government policy. So anybody that is appointed from somebody's office or somebody you know or somebody you have worked with, all of that is absolutely natural. There was a point in time when the Speaker of the House, Ms. Bridget Anazet George, her husband was the chairman of several state entities. Anybody say conflict there? Absolutely not. So that is total rubbish. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Right? Right. And all this fancy graph and thing, I see people drawing. Okay, this is Trinidad, it's a small society. In any event, even when one looks at the law of bias in Trinidad and Tobago, most of the bias judgments in Trinidad and Tobago recognize that Trinidad and Tobago is a small society and people tend to know people. I could draw a graph, I should get that by you. Well, I represented you before. But if we could draw a graph and represent and meet anybody in the right graph. So, again, nonsense. Next thing I heard about. Well, the OPR is investigating. Ooh, that's what the OPR does. People make a complaint. What do the OPR do? Throw it out? The OPR will investigate. Notably, unlike HDC, which we'll get to, the OPR didn't put a stop.
Right.
It didn't order a stop. It didn't say stop. So that means, naturally, we have to assume there's not enough prima facie evidence of wrongdoing. Because that's when the OPR will put a stop.
Correct.
If they see, whoa, what the information you get is so grung and shattered, we need to put a stop, right? Then, if there's no stop, the assumption is there's no good evidence against Landmark TT. Secondly, okay, they're reviewing the procurement process. That's normal. In fact, and much people don't know this because I have been involved in some of them, under the PNM prior to April 2025, there were at least, I was involved in 2, but there were at least 7 challenges in the OPR to contracts that were awarded by PNM boards or boards under the PNM administration. And 7 of them were cancelled.
Really?
Cancelled. The OPR had to get involved and say, go back out because your process was bad.
Okay.
And that was under the PNM. So there's not even a challenge in the Landmark. But even if the OPR comes back and say, look, I feel you got it wrong there. You should have gone this method or that method or whatever. That's what the OPR is there for, to advise.
Yeah.
And you go back out, right? And procurement, this new procurement regime and all of the regulations and standards and publications that the OPR has been coming out, even I am, as a lawyer, have difficulty in keeping up with it. It's a new area. The law is new. The principles are somewhat new. While we understood generally procurement should be fair, etc. in the past, there are very exact standards now. So if you have to do sole select versus limited bidding versus open tender, it shades into one another. You could justify, you have to notify it, you have to document your justification, etc. So these are still difficult questions that people have to grapple with. So if errors are made, fine. And I'm not saying any error has been made because there's an investigation. But what we know for a fact, if you want to judge us by standards, under the PNM administration, there were at least 7 awards or 8 awards that was stopped. I was involved in one. I acted for a contractor and it was against Diptech, and we had to get it stopped because there was problems. They failed to disclose certain criteria and that kind of thing, and it led to an unfair process.
That sounds like a John Bates issue, right?
Well, that's another issue. If you want to transition, we can transition. But that's what I'm saying. So we've dealt with family connection and favorable appointments of boards, total rubbish. We've dealt with the OPR investigating, well, there's no need to make a meal out of that. That is natural. The thing goes on. And the purpose of Landmark TT, as I see it, very clear, very venerable, very honorable, a good thing in society. So
given though that you have been involved in that process already, right? Where the OPR steps in and say, hey, we hold
on both sides, defending and challenging. Yeah,
no problem. Is this like a normal occurrence for the OPR?
Every bid, every tender that goes out, some contractor will win and about 5 or 6 will lose.
But this is normal. So
and therefore, the ones who lose, who wanted the contract, they're naturally going to say, A, either A, I want a challenge, or B, I just gonna make a complaint because I vex or lose the contract. Those things happen. And if that comes to the OPR, then the OPR has to say, hey, could you send your record? Please, I need to review it. And that's an investigation.
Well, they got everything from Landmark.
And as far as I understand, they got the documents from Landmark, so let them in, look at it. And if they look at it, then they say, hey, fellas, here what's going on. You went this method, but we ain't sure this is the correct way to go about doing this method. Maybe you should go open. Or maybe you should widen your pool of persons you're inviting to ensure more chance. Well, then so be it. Take the advice and move on.
I have a question here, right? When it comes to awarding of contracts and the OPR position, right, does it involve awarding of contracts for government when the government has to be fitting the bill with taxpayers' money, or in regards to the Landmark where they are using their own money to facilitate the building of the houses? How does the OPR come in there? So the OPR is only for awarding for the bidding and awarding of contracts, or is because the people are using their own money, or Landmark, whoever the contractors are using their own money, is the OPR still involved in that also? Okay,
so you have what you call a risk matrix, right? Risk matrix in procurement is something like, if the contract is high value, high risk, then you have to scrutinize the process even more. So the public authority will take a lot of caution about what it does, and it will go to the most transparent type of way, so you might go open bidding, etc. Right?
That's for a certain percentage.
That's a risk matrix, yes.
Yeah, but for a certain percentage.
It's what you call high value contract, right? Now, if it's a low value contract, then you go low. But
hold on, this in regards to the state not spending,
So I'm getting it. I'm getting to that, right?
Yeah.
When you assess that risk high matrix, you don't only look at, to be fair, you don't only look at what money the public authority is putting out, because technically speaking, the contract is also, how to put it, pledging land, state land. So you can ascribe a value to the state land.
Okay.
And say, technically speaking, this is a value that we're allowing you to use, perhaps as security, perhaps as whatever. So you have to take care. It's not that the OPR will say, well, okay, you're not actually putting out a cent, and therefore we're not going to look at it, right? But the OPR will have to understand in the level of scrutiny that actually the state isn't putting out that much amount of money. Yes, it is pledging land, meaning that it's putting up land for the contractor.
For the contractor to build the houses.
So there's a value. You can't say there's no value.
No value,
right?
understood.
There's a value initially that is being expended, but that has to feed itself into what the OPR is saying. So if the country was going to say, I'm putting on $150 million up front as a mobilization fee, well, then the OPR had to run in there and say, wait, we need to look at this carefully.
Yeah.
But where the contractor is assuming so much risk, because he don't have a single house will be sold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody could come and say, them house too close to the highway, I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying that, yeah.
Right? And then he is left stuck with it.
Yeah. It could end up like last year where the land was moving and he didn't know.
Correct.
And then the land move and sell a couple houses for long.
All kinds of
all kind
risk.
of thing could risk.
All kinds of risk could happen. We could hit a housing bubble, a real estate bubble like they did in America, and houses just drop flat, and he won't get back a cent, and he might even run into loss. So the contractor is taking on a lot of risk. So when the OPR, so I'm not saying the OPR has no jurisdiction to look at it because there's no money put out.
Correct.
But what I'm saying, certainly what the OPR has to consider as a very, as we say in public law, a very relevant factor in the consideration has to be that the contractor has assumed almost all the risk. Save and except that he has the benefit of the state land to use initially, right? And that's so that deals with it. So the point is, in my view, to surround the issue, this landmark thing totally blown out of proportion. Shows me the level of, I don't want to be overly political, but maybe I should. Shows me the level of desperation in the critics of the government right now to use this, to use a simple investigation to blow it up to this without understanding the complexity of the issues and what is happening, etc. It shows complete exaggeration and embellishment by the opposition or by the persons who are criticizing this right now.
Okay, so we know landmark TT might be blown out of proportion.
Right.
All right. Maybe it's something that the opposition using to target the government and say, you see, corruption, friends and families benefiting. But when we look at HDC now and we look into the $3.5 billion, yes, we saw NH was shut down with their inquiry. But would you also say that $3.5 billion is a smoke screen once or being used as
a red herring?
Again, my understanding is that it's a similar arrangement to the landmark TT in terms of contractor risk.
Yes.
And therefore, whatever the OPR is going to look at and recommend has to be proportionate in terms of risk sharing. So you can't demand a certain standard by the HTC as in full open tender, and you are not measuring in that in the risk. So I tell you, for instance, one of the things which is well recognized in procurement law as to why you don't go out to open tender is because you know you have a limited market. So if this microphone here, if it only had one supplier of this microphone in the market,
right?
Why am I going out to open tender? Who going to put it in? Now you could say construction, but the size of that contract, the ability to raise that level of finance as a contractor themselves, that must be limited. How much people in this country can raise a loan at 300? So why would you need to go open tender? Ridiculous, in my view. And again, I don't want to. I mean, the matter is under investigation, so you shouldn't say too much about trying to conclude, but the point is there are good reasons why you adopt certain methods of procurement, and I'm sure it's documented, or I'm sure it's there, and I'm sure the justification is there in whatever way they may not have put it as persuasively as you had to do, and therefore the OPR stepped in and said, look, we need to look at this closer. But again, it's an iterative process. The OPR is meant to work with the public authority. So if the public authority, except in challenge proceedings, NH filed a challenge proceedings, they lost, they're out. They tried to challenge and they lost. They went out at time. If it's so concerned them, then they should have gone in time. They went out of time, it got knocked out. So that's
so to be clear, look, as an attorney, all right, because you're Kyle Tackler saying attorney at law. Speaking now, you see no issues with the awarding of that $3.5 billion contract.
There, to me, from the evidence I have seen, I have not seen any, let's call it this, smoking gun as to why that contract should be chilled. I have not seen that. The most I have seen is one, the process of inviting contractors was not open tender. But as I said, there are good reasons why you would not adopt an open tender process if there's a limited market. If you know there are only a few people who could raise that kind of finance, etc. That's very clear. So there is justification. I haven't seen exactly what the HEC justification. My understanding is the chairman has quite rightly said, look, the matter is under investigation. I don't want to make too much comments.
Do you, in your humble view and your opinion, do you believe the office of the OPR is compromised? Because why I ask that question, right? From 2023 to 2025, awards of contracts was given out to a lot of companies and a lot of contractors, right? And it's for the first time I hear the OPR name called so much in the media and all this investigation. To me, the OPR all of a sudden existing. They know how to do all investigation and make sure everything going to proper tender and everything going on right now. But prior to that, when the other administration was in power, right, we are hearing government officials, family members getting contracts in the upwards of millions of dollars. Where was the OPR then?
Yeah, so I don't wanna I don't want to, when I say it I have to
Be careful.
be careful.
Okay.
So, I don't want to say that I am going to throw the OPR under the bus. I'm not going to say I am sure. I find it odd that investigations are being initiated on the OPR's own motion. No, more recently.
Most recent.
You hear about now. Maybe it was being done quietly, under the, but what I can tell you is for sure that so there are two different things. The OPR, you have an investigation, but there's also something called challenge proceedings, where a contractor could file a challenge, which is different to investigation. But what I can tell you is when people have filed challenges, especially under pre-2025 April, there were, at least in my memory, 7 contracts. In fact, there were 7 contracts that were set aside for bad procurement processes.
Right.
That's on the OPR website. You can go and look at that.
Before or after you said?
Before April. You could go and look at it. It's there on the website. You could
Right.
go through and see all the judgments where people won challenged. Some of them got knocked out for time and thing. But the ones that went through, there were at least 7 judgments against public authorities under the PNM.
You know, he's saying that, and heavy. And the reality also is this. Is it even ethical for the PNM administration days before a general election, or let's say months before a general election, and not too long months, just a few months before the general election, to come and award contracts in the HDC to...
It's business has to go on regardless of election. So let me put it like that, right? business has to go on regardless. Election is another date. You win, you lose. You have something called continuity of government. Certainly, if I was a fair contractor and I put in, and I know an award coming up, and our prime minister decided he's calling a snap election, that must put off my contract. No, I would be very aggrieved. In fact, I would go to a lawyer and say, I need to sue because why are you putting off my contract?
So you're talking as an attorney there.
Well, what I'm saying is when you put out a tender, to be fair, when you put out a tender, there are strict deadlines. And you have to deal with the tender and award at a certain point in time. Now, what you say they may have happened in 2015 when the UNC lost, or whenever the other party So, how it's difficult to say just before. I agree with you, it's suspicious. If there was no process and a contract was just awarded prior, yes, I say that is rubbish. Just before election, rubbish. That is clearly political. That is clearly a man taking his chances, knowing that curtail book in April 28th. So you see me, let me try and get some money now. At least if I'm awarded the contract, I could get a mobilization fee, I could get a fee for this, I could get a fee for that, and whatever. So I agree with you. If it's that, then certainly wrong. But business doesn't stop because of an election. I will also want to say that just to put a little balance in it, right?
Modest. Right. I like that modest
So
response.
we're going to take a break, and we're going to take a break.
A few calls on it now.
We'll take a calls on this?
Yeah, on the
All right,
OPR
okay.
issue firstly, right? So if people call in to talk about anything else, we're talking OPR. All right? So you have Kel Tackler singing in the studio, and by the way, I must say this is the quickest the stream went straight up to the top.
Right, good.
All right, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good
Yes, sir,
afternoon.
go ahead.
Good afternoon to Council.
Good afternoon, sir.
Council, I've been listening to your summation in relation to the particular matter, and I have a couple of concerns.
Sure.
If there's a risk, it's a business risk. And when you're involved in risk, that is what business is about.
Sure.
So if John is willing to take the risk, who tells John that Harry and Albert is not willing to take the same risk?
That's fair, but risk is judged in a matrix.
The question of risk factors in relation to this particular matter.
It's
The other thing I want to say to you is that the OPR has a responsibility to act according to law.
Sure.
We act under the rule of law.
Sure.
If the OPR is acting out of the ambit, the four walls of the law, then the OPR know that there's a higher place that will be calling them soon.
Sure, but
So
who
that
has
I believe
suggested
to
that the
myself
OPR is acting out of the law?
that these contracts were awarded in a way that is contrary to the OPR's stated concerns, then it would be for the OPR to eventually say so. But
Well, you contradict yourself a little bit there.
Hold
Because
on,
let me just stop you there, right? The rule of law requires clarity in law. That is the underpinning of the rule of law. Clarity and preciseness. A citizen must know upon which standard he is to be judged. So it can't be just what the OPR opinion and view is. It's actually not the OPR. It is Parliament that set up the OPR, and Parliament that set the regulations of the OPR and how you are supposed to bid, when you are supposed to go open tender. Now the OPR is the authority to take a preliminary view on it, and that's fine. Several challenges, as I have said, have been filed, and the OPR have ruled against public authorities in the past. So that's fine. You can do that. And if people want a challenge for that, they can. But in terms of what you said about risk, etc., it is accepted procurement law that the type of procurement method that you adopt has to factor in the risk matrix. And therefore, if the public authority's risk is low and all is on the contractor, that may very well be a factor to determine the type of methodology that is adopted.
All right, caller.
Right.
Good evening, David.
Yes, sir.
Heavy.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Attorney.
Good afternoon.
I have looked at the performance of the OPR, and this is from my vantage. It appears that the office is at variance with respect to lodging reports into Parliament. The procurement regulator has been late with the 2023 report by about 8 months, and the current 24-25 report is late about 4 months. Can I hear your take on it,
Well,
please?
that's unlawful, and in fact, if that is so, I'm not aware of that. Thank you for bringing that to my knowledge. I might find an activist to file a judicial review to force them to do it now, because those are the kind of things I love to do. Where public authorities have an obligation to lay reports in Parliament and they don't do it, the courts have been very strict. They might give you a little month or two to sort yourself out, but it has to be laid, because that is the essence of transparency. When the public authority is required to lay a report in Parliament, that gives that public authority, or that is the venue by which the citizen can access the report and assess whether the authority is doing well or not.
All right. Well, that there so far is a response from attorney at law Kyle Takwell Singh.
Yes.
Stay tuned, Trinidad and Tobago. When we come back, don't think it end there.
Yeah,
no.
when we come back, we have other things to do with.
I feel like I'm in the Queen's Park Nets and I'm 15 years old and I should have fast bowlers coming. Go ahead.
So more of your calls and opinions up next, Trinidad and Tobago. Stay tuned to Talk City 91.1 FM, your address for Talk Radio. Under the radar with yours truly, Heavy Duty and David Welch.
Your afternoons just got
Trinidad
louder.
And Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
The jammo, happy spirits have the sweetest rhythm.
Beat the heat this May. Cool comfort is calling. NTE Air Conditioning Limited is bringing big savings for the month of May only. 12,000 BTU AC units with Wi-Fi starting as just $2,600 installed. Servicing from only $250. 2 or more units only $200 each. Don't sweat it. Stay cool, sleep better, and enjoy comfort every day. Call or WhatsApp 341-3185 now. Limited time only. May specials won't last forever. And for all of you that need data on the go, get your preloaded SIM card for as low as $40. Available at any store where you see a digital sign on the outside. Spot the digital sign, get a new number, preloaded data, and more. Win up to $750 weekly in cash. Digital customers can text the word SPIN to 8181 to enter. Enter now for your chance to win cash weekly. All right, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back on the inside. We are here with attorney at law Kyle Taklal Singh, and well, we are heavy duty and David Welch because you're under the radar. How you feeling? How you feeling, Kyle? You feeling good?
Good.
You sure you're feeling good?
Very calm.
You come prepared for this?
Did I?
I feel like we're in an election here, you know.
I think we should always be election ready.
Election ready. All right, because we have a burning topic on the front burner right now, and that is with Senator John Bates. Now, as far as I know, she is still inside of the Senate. Senate sits today to discuss debate the Parole Bill 2026, which was passed in the lower house and would obviously be passed in the upper house in just a short bit.
Sure.
But also speaking in the Senate is also Faris El-Rawi. I think that's the first thing. I think we understand John Bates just a little bit. We'll come to her. But mainly, Faris Arari, you are an attorney at law.
Yeah.
Now, if you were a senator, would you also be assisting your colleague in what we describe as a cover-up?
Well, all right. So I think the allegation is essentially evidence manipulation.
Okay.
Or
So
witness
not a cover-up.
tampering, as people are calling it, but it's really evidence manipulation. Meaning, she had inside knowledge. Senator Bates had inside knowledge with respect to deliberations of the committee, and she was assisting a witness who had to appear before that committee with his evidence.
Yeah.
Whether or not she actually manipulated evidence is not the issue. The point is, you ought not to have done that.
Right.
Clear conflict, clear bias, clear impropriety. You should not be doing that. You were sitting almost like a judge in that committee. You had to hear the evidence that is coming before you and ask questions and make assessments, and therefore you could not have assisted the person who's coming to give evidence before you with their evidence.
Correct.
Totally wrong, absolutely wrong. The question now, she has apologized and offered her resignation. I think the issue is no longer a John Bates issue. I think it's a leadership issue now.
Okay.
The point is, leadership should be decisive. If the opposition leader has this clear misconduct before and is not acting, it shows indecisive, poor and weak leadership, quite frankly. She ought to have acted decisively and removed or accepted the resignation. That is the first thing. Secondly, I am extremely disappointed in Senator Al-Rawi. Not because he's a politician, but he's a senior attorney. More importantly, and the legal profession is something I hold very dear to my heart. No senior attorney should encourage a junior attorney to conduct themselves in that manner, especially someone conferred with the rank of senior counsel, which is something we still revere in this country, regardless of whether you dispute certain persons have gotten it who should not have gotten it. Most attorneys, junior attorneys, young attorneys at the bar still revere silk. And for you sitting as silk, knowing that you was engaged in something that a senator should not be doing, but more importantly, attorney at law should not be doing, and you saw the edits, and you contributed, at least from the evidence, he obviously knew that she was assisting in the evidence. He should have said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't assist. Let him go and get some other attorney. That is not for you to do. You are sitting in a quasi-judicial capacity. You ought not to conduct yourself in that way, and I am not going to assist you in that, certainly. So I think it's as I said, politics is one thing, but he's still a senior counsel in the profession. Whether one thinks he deserves it or not, that's not for me. He's been conferred with the rank.
But does the client attorney privilege, is that like
no, well, not for her. I don't think.
No, but for
him,
yeah, because he's a senator. I mean, he has a responsibility for the people.
Well,
so
the law is very clear. Privilege can't protect misconduct. I can't advise you to walk down the road and slap up somebody. And then when the police say, well, did you incite that? I say, no, client privilege. That's not how privilege works. Privilege works as if you come to me and you say, look, I need advice. This is exactly what happened. And you very frank with me and you tell me, look, I went down the road and I did this and that. What are my options? And I say, look, my advice is if you go and you plead guilty, you could get 3 years imprisonment, or from what you told me, the police may not be able to prove it. So you could just stay quiet and let them prove their case. That is privilege.
Okay.
That is information I have gleaned from you as a client, and I can't share that. I can't discuss my client's business. But what he did is clearly he knew what was happening, which was wrong, and he should be able to make a clear statement, and not in my respectful view. I don't think that privilege protects him.
So constitutionally then, we still have John Bates there as a senator.
Well, she serves at the pleasure of the opposition leader. She says that she has offered her resignation, and it's for the leader of the opposition to decide whether or not she sits. So, quite frankly, she should have just resigned, in my view, and leave. Nobody could force you to stay there if you resign.
But constitutionally then, because I know that's one...
That is what I was going to ask. I was going to ask, right? So there's a total difference in tendering a resignation and you resigning outright.
Yes.
Right? So we have to wait now for the opposition leader to accept that resignation in order for her to leave.
Yeah.
And if the opposition leader does not accept her resignation, she can sit there and collect taxpayers' money, right? doing that she tendered her resignation.
Yeah, let me use an unconstitutional phrase. The PNM playing smart with stupidness. If the conduct was bad, she should have resigned, not offer.
Offer.
And even if it's offered, you can't stay forever and say you consider. What you need to consider, the conduct is so bad. What do you need a month? It's what, about a month now since it happened? 3 weeks?
The question...
What is it that they're going to convene a tribunal in Balize House and they're going to find out? She admitted it.
What next could be done then? If she... Because she tendered her resignation. Well, she offered her resignation to the opposition leader. If the opposition leader doesn't want to take action, can the government do anything constitutionally?
That now falls in the realm of the parliamentary practice, which I'm not super familiar with. I mean, I have some knowledge of it, but my understanding is the standing orders could be used to render her in contempt of parliament, and then you could go further to restrict her from attending, and the speaker could make rulings, etc. But that's really a parliament. You have to talk to the people who know the standing orders and the rules. I unfortunately have not served in parliament, so I'm not that familiar with it.
So question, does that trump the constitution? Constitutionally, what could be done?
Well, the constitution confers parliament with authority and autonomy. So that's why the law generally is when parliament, like committees make decisions, you can't really challenge it in court. Parliament is their own court. That's why you have standing committees. That is why you have I forget what they call it, the standing order committee and the speaker to make rulings. So for instance, every time the speaker denies a question, you can't go and run and file a case in court and say I want to challenge that. The speaker's authority is final there, and it's to ensure the business of parliament moves on. So that's actually a constitutional principle, the sovereignty of parliament. Courts don't get involved too much. It's a separation of power issue, right? The parliament makes laws, it has its procedures to do it. Courts interpret laws, and the executive has to enforce policy or do policy, right? So while there is overlap, and while you're right, the constitutional principle behind what she did clearly says that she shouldn't be there, because you have taken oaths according to the constitution to act independently and all these things. And clearly that is something that should draw the ire of the public and should be where she should attract the most severe criticism, respectfully. But in terms of action that can be taken at this point, the constitution vests her right to be there in the arms of the opposition leader. And it also gives parliament the right to make standing orders and rules to treat with members such as her. And I understand that there has been a debate on it from my memory, and they are taking that action according to, that's an internal issue. But it doesn't infringe, to answer your question, it doesn't infringe a direct constitutional imperative to say, oh, this is a breach and she has to go, right? But there are ways to deal with it.
See, I understand? This is why we need constitutional reform, right? Because Penny didn't want to accept that resignation, she could stay righty, right? And wait to wherever parliamentary, judicial, wherever they want to do to get rid of her. Yeah. And this is my problem with our constitution in its current form. And this is where we're going to get ticklish now. Do you believe that the constitution in its current form, right, is beneficial to the common citizens of Trinidad and Tobago?
In many respects, yes. For instance, the Constitution enshrines certain rights which are inviolable and inalienable. We have the right to liberty, the right to freedom of expression, the right to media, and if you try to pass laws or take executive action to cut that down, we can go to court and file a constitutional motion and get it struck down and protect your rights. So in terms of the rights that the Constitution, like many other constitutions in the world, confer onto citizens, because you're a human. We say you have, as a human, you have the right of freedom of expression, of liberty, freedom from arbitrary detention, all of these things, protection of the law. Many constitutions around the world, and that is what you call universal rights that most constitutions have adopted. In Britain, you don't have a written constitution, but it's enshrined in principle. There are other good parts. For instance, our constitution specifically sets up service commissions, which has been a big thing in our country. Now, they're open to criticism, don't get me wrong. But the concept of setting up an independent service commission to ensure that persons who hold certain public offices are protected and insulated from political influence is also a good thing in our constitution, an innovation. Now, it perhaps doesn't go far enough. Many people have a problem with first past the post, which is enshrined in our constitution. We should have proportional representation. Many people have, I was at a constitutional consultation, and young people were asking me, what about the constitutional right to bear firearms? Why don't we have that? What about environmental protection in the Constitution? So many people will have many different views as to what has to be in a Constitution. A Constitution is really a treaty among people as to what we prize as our deepest values and our deepest protections, and we put it down in a document and we say this is the superior law. This is the supreme law. We're not going to touch this unless you have certain majorities. And that is how a constitution works. It isn't some fabled document, right? Or some mystical document that comes down to protect you in every single circumstance. So that's a misconception most people have. Because people like to say constitution. Okay, yes, we have a constitution. You have constitutional rights. There are procedures that they are there to protect you. But what we can't do is waive the constitution at everything, because then everybody will do it for everything. And then you water down the actual constitutional right that you're trying to venerate. So a constitution can't solve all your problems, but it can certainly protect you from the most fundamental ones. Okay. So if there's a specific concern, so for instance, there are people who are saying, well, the state of emergency is going on too long. That's a criticism that people have out there. But our constitution empowers our politicians and parliament that if they are aware of certain national security risks, they are allowed to even trump public sentiment and take the necessary action and invoke a state of emergency to do that. That's a constitutional compromise. It may not be a very popular one sometimes, because it means that the government could limit your rights at any point in time for a prolonged period. But it's a balance between the responsible discharge of power and excessive power when you need it against individual rights and the need for protection for individuals.
The Constitution, as you've been a constitutional lawyer, has the Constitution been amended at all in any major way since it was written back in the
76 was the last major iteration. You've had some amendments.
But you know, it's 76. That's plenty years.
You haven't had...
I mean, the world have changed, time have changed, things have changed. So one will think that the Constitution now could be amended somewhat to suit the times.
So the way that is dealt with, the way that is, well, they have, first of all, there have been some amendments. For instance, there was a change about 15, 20 years ago in relation to how you appoint a commissioner of police. There were some other changes in terms of the service commission, etc. Now, the way that what you call a static constitution is dealt with is dealt with in the courts of law. The courts recognize that, and it's called legalistic tabulism, I believe is what it's called. Basically what it says is that a constitution is always speaking, and you can adapt the broad principles in a constitution to meet modern issues. So, for example, one would have never thought, let's say in 1950s or 60s, that freedom of expression meant the right to go and put graffiti on wall and thing, or to go and hold up placards and or to march in Woodford Square and to march in Woodford Square, right? And go and make a nuisance of yourself, according to some people, right?
Right.
Some people, that may not freedom of expression was you write in a book an opinion, or you give a poem, or you sing a calypso.
Right.
And over the years, it has evolved to now marching, physical protest, other forms of expression that are being recognized, down to, it's even been to clothes, right? What you wear. There was a famous cross-dressing case in the CCJ where there was a law against cross-dressing, and somebody in one of the territories, not Trinidad, wanted to put on female clothes, and they locked him up because a different journalist said, well, no, if the person wants to dress like that, they're entitled to do it because it's freedom of expression. So you see, so the point is, the interpretation, it's what you say is always speaking.
Yeah.
And that is something that we entrust our judges to do. To look at the law, look at the society, the values of society, and say, well, standards have now moved on, and therefore, having moved on, we need to broaden the rights, or to bring the rights to interpret these things as opposed to other things, or broader aspects of rights, essentially.
So let's switch it around then, just a little bit, all right? We, both administrations, right? Awarding of contracts.
Right.
Let's just use that simple term for now, all right? We awarded contracts days before a general election, and then we come and award billions of dollars in contracts, via this administration. If the people in itself is upset about it and finds some level of corruption in it, what are the measures that the people can take utilizing the Constitution to bring about justice in that regard.
You don't even have to reach the Constitution. You have ordinary protection of law for that. So you have the police service, you have the fraud squad, you have personal civil actions. So if you were a contractor or a citizen, you could file various methods of laws, various types of lawsuits if you're upset about an award of contract. And then you have public law and judicial review, which is enshrined in our ordinary statute, that a regular person who has nothing to do with it can file an action in the public's interest, that Ravi Balgom and Maraj and all these activists are always doing, to vindicate public issues and public questions that may not affect them directly, but it's done for the public benefit. So there are things that are there. You have the Freedom of Information Act. You could get information from anybody, any public authority, and disseminate it so people are informed. So there are things there which citizens can utilize. Is it enough? Well, some people may say no. But some people, when you have to run a country, may say, well, these things are a little bit of a nuisance. I need to deliver services. So again, it's about balance, right? It's about balance. As I said, I mean, my limited experience in politics, you're never going to get full consensus.
In 1976, when this Constitution was written, it was written at the time when there was a no-vote campaign and one party had the majority. Well, as a matter of fact, they had no opposition at that time. They also take one of the members and make him part of the opposition, right? You think with that Constitution being amended in that time, that it was amended to seek the countries itself on a whole interest, because this is the Constitution that we are using now? Or is it possible that this Constitution that you currently have now mainly seeks the interests of politicians and those in power, especially the powers of the Prime Minister?
First of all, the 76 Constitution followed from the 62 Constitution. And the 62, and it's not vastly different to the 62 Constitution. They have the same rights, same certain things. In fact, a lot of what was changed is you changed crown to president and that sort of thing. So you had that kind of shift. But in terms of the actual text, yes, it gives the executive, the cabinet, the prime minister a lot of power. But you can't run a country with limited power. You have to recognize that there's a principle in politics. It's perhaps more political, but it recognizes a principle of democracy that we run called representative democracy. It's not direct democracy. It's not that every time a decision a prime minister has to make, she must pick up the phone and say, David, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Okay. Yes or no, blah, blah, blah. You are represented and your views are represented via your representative in parliament. And that's the parliamentary system that we run. And she or he, the prime minister, gets their mandate in turn from commanding the majority in parliament. And therefore, the democracy and the alienation that you are complaining about, or the democratic principle, is fulfilled by virtue of the setup in parliament and by virtue of the prime minister commanding the majority of MPs in parliament. That's the way the system works. Now, is democracy or that form of parliamentary democracy the best system? Maybe not. But as our famous law lord once said, it's the best system we have. Or it's the best of the worst systems. What's the other system? Autocracy? Ancien regime? Let's have a king?
Well, that's interesting. I don't know if you're staying until after a little fall with us, but we do have the news and NLCB to get to.
No promises, but I'm happy to come back.
Happy to come back. All right, well, you want to do closing words then?
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to come back. I hope I've been as clear as possible.
Yes,
I think so. Yeah. I think so. This issue, we definitely have to talk about this.
Yes. So let me go and train a little bit. And I'll come back.
I like what you say, how the Constitution, is it the best? Probably not. This is the worst. It's just leave it hanging there because we know it's not the best. And there are other democratic constitutions that works on behalf of the people and it's working very fine. We can adapt that too, but it's best. Okay.
It's probably the best worst system we have.
The best worst system. We'll take that. We'll take that. All right. So we'll take more calls after this from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
You could always catch Mr. Taklal Singh on his social pages.
Yes.
If anything, right? Yeah. So Cal Taklal Singh on Facebook.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, Trinidad and Tobago. We'll be right back right after this on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balakaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day.
Happy spirits have the sweetest rhythm. Oh.
All right. Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back on the Inside 415 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
And you're back under the radar. And we want to thank Kyle, attorney at law, constitutional attorney Kyle Tackle Singh for joining us in the first hour. Let me make sure and say thank you to all those that called and contributed, as well as the live stream. I mean, the numbers, boy, the numbers. All right, outside of that, just a quick reminder. Tomorrow, the Minister in the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, the Honorable Ernesto Kiza, will be here around 4 p.m.
Tomorrow or Thursday?
Thursday.
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
I'm thinking tomorrow is Tuesday.
Tuesday. On Tuesday.
My apologies.
Yes.
So on Tuesday, the Minister in the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries will be here on the program, and he will be here at 4 p.m. The topic will be energy. So ask some good questions, all right? Because I mean, when you have the minister here, you know the media will be here and stuff like that, and then most importantly, we'll be on his pages as well.
Definitely.
Let's ask some good questions.
No, so we are going to have a segment.
Yes.
Right?
And I will take some calls.
No. We're going and do our segment. All right. We have to do a segment, and this is the allotted time for our segment, so we got to do it.
All right.
From history to culture, this is Know Your Country, only on Talk City 91.1 FM.
All right, so you're in the Know Your Country segment right now, Trinidad and Tobago. It's time to call, 622-4911, 622-4911. Let's find out
if you know your country. Right, so call us. I'm going to give you a question about our country of Trinidad and Tobago. And if you answer correctly, you win.
That's all.
You win nothing.
You win nothing.
You just get to know your country.
You know, if you know it, then you have a preloaded data. All right, so 622-4911, 622-4911, 394-4911. Let's find out if you know your country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
So those are the numbers to call. Let's find out what you know about Trinidad and Tobago.
622-4911 and 394-4911.
Yes, those are the numbers to call. And don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Oh, God, no, they ain't not afraid, but your whole lines light up. Every line lights up. Caller.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys.
Access phrase, know your country. That's the access phrase.
Know your country as I do.
Lovely.
All right.
All right, you're sure you know your country?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see if you know it.
There's a one-of-a-kind bridge, right, made of spring in Trinidad and Tobago. Where it's located?
In Blanchishes.
Ah,
I know your country.
You know your country.
Yeah,
You know your
but
country.
after that, there's one in Maruga Laughing too. You only know that one? Well, I learned only that one.
All right,
right,
thank you very
thanks so
much.
much.
Thanks so much.
Okay,
Thanks so
okay,
much.
guys. Keep up
Thanks
the
so much.
good
Thanks so
okay.
much. Yeah, brother. You know your country, man.
Yeah, you know things.
Access phrase. Oh, the dial tone is the access phrase. I guess so. All right, 6224911, 6224911. Let's see how well you know your country, Trinidad and Tobago.
We had to get applause effect there, you know.
We do have one.
We had to get applause effect.
Let's see if I have it here. But we do have one.
You have one?
Yeah, we have one. Let's see. It was. Let me go.
Take the call.
Access phrase.
Caller?
Yeah, got it.
Yes, good day.
Got it.
Access phrase.
Access phrase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're supposed
Know your country, man.
the access phrase. I don't say the access phrase.
Know your country?
Know your country. Correct. What's the name of the highest mountain peak in Trinidad and Tobago?
The highest peak?
Yeah, the highest mountain peak.
St. Joseph?
No, that's not the name. It's on the northern range. What's the name of the peak?
I can't remember the name now. It's about 3 mountains.
All right.
I don't
Okay.
know which one.
All right. All right, caller. Thank you very much. You're going to try again. Give somebody else a chance.
I had some for him, you know. I had some because he didn't know, right?
No, we can't get them one-on-one because we leave it for somebody
I
else.
had something for him. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, you could not know. You're supposed to know.
Alex, if I don't know. Look, go on, learn the homework.
Yeah, go on later. Yeah, take another one. 6224911, 6224911. Know your country, man. Access phrase.
Access phrase.
Know your country.
All right.
What's the name?
Elder Coach.
But you know what? No.
Nah,
nobody tell it. Nobody
answer the question.
You ain't got the question yet.
You ain't got the question yet.
You gotta wait for the question.
No, you see the question and the question I asked the man, that answer that he gave is wrong. He's wrong.
Take that.
It's not Elder Coach, right? But I was going to give you another question.
Ask him now.
Yeah. No, he don't answer.
He don't answer.
Yeah, he don't answer the wrong question.
You see what you do? Sorry, boy. Sorry.
Brother.
Oh, God, boy. Access phrase, caller. Access phrase. Oh, God, WhatsApp phrase. Access phrase.
Know
Your country, right. What's the name of the longest seaside stretch of road east of the country?
East of the country.
Yeah.
That's
Two people. Yeah, two people on the line.
Sorry. Well,
the man was. The next man get right there.
You get right. I call on the line. I had two people on the line.
Yeah, I had the call on the line there.
This one is for me. That one is for
me.
you.
Take that here because all right.
Ouch.
But give him a round of applause for getting that. It's my romance in the last stretch.
Congrats.
Yeah. It's in my romance in the last stretch.
No. Let me say something quickly.
Yeah.
That bridge in Blanchishes, the correct name is a swing bridge. People say it's a spring bridge because I grew up there and I knew it as spring too. But when I went to secondary school,
this is a swing bridge. But I know it as the spring bridge. It's the world famous spring bridge in Blanchishes. That's why I know it as. But it's a swing bridge. You saying?
Swing bridge. Yes.
Swing. All right. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, brother. Nice. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you deserve that one.
All right, we take two more calls now.
All right, we have two more calls on Know Your Country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Two more calls on Know Your Country.
Let's find out what you know. Oh, I can't say that.
Know Your Country.
What's access phrase?
Caller. Know Your Country. All right. The highest mountain peak in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what I was looking for. Yes, correct. That's correct. El Takuch is the second highest. No. You don't get away with it.
But you're trying to defraud we. Take away. Take away. You're trying to defraud me and take another one.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Give us something.
You want some more? Trying to defraud me on the radio station. What is this? One more, know your country.
Yeah.
All right, 6224911, 6224911. Whip sharing, you know.
Yeah, whip sharing if you get wrong.
Whip sharing if you get wrong, you know.
Yeah, know your country. I don't know your country. I don't want to get licks.
Whip sharing. So 6224911, 6224911. Those are the numbers to call, all right? Access phrase.
In your country.
All right.
Yes. What's the name of the very first president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago?
You get this right.
President.
Yeah.
Eric Williams.
And wrong.
Take that.
Sorry about that caller. Next caller. Let me try somebody else.
Take that, boy. Eric Williams?
No.
But,
Oh, God.
yeah.
They were like, you Josh Alex.
This man said Eric Williams on the one.
What happened to you? How you say Alex?
Access phrase.
Know your country.
All
right. Question. What is the correct name for the pitch lake?
You?
The correct name for the pitch lake that we call it in Trinidad.
Yeah.
The pitch lake, yeah.
What lake?
You say what lake?
I call it.
Shiny and then by what you
No, we don't say that. All right.
You got applaud for that. All right, caller, where are we now? Yeah. Me know what is that.
Yeah.
What is that? You said
Wallace. You tried the other bite too much.
Access phrase.
Oh, God.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Access phrase.
Yes, I listen to my radio, but I listen to my phone.
All right.
So I can't get over the radio, but access phrase is know your country.
Yes.
Know your country, correct. All right. In making kalaloo, give me 4 ingredients.
Kalaloo. A nice Sunday delicacy. Okra.
1.
Pumpkin.
What?
Coconut. Okra.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
2. Coconut.
And then mosaic calabash.
Calabash. All right, good. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, man. You know your country.
But listen, what are you checking?
Nah.
What are you checking?
What chicken? Don't put chicken in kalaloo.
Or kalaloo?
Chicken in kalaloo.
You take licks. You take licks for that. You not pay allowance. It's kalaloo. What you talking about?
That young boy too in little bottom.
Take a licks for that, David. You talking about chicken in kalaloo. Come on, don't do that. Take some licks. Take some licks on that one. You take some licks on that one. All right, so we come to the end of the segment. We come to the end of the segment. Nice for you guys participating in the Know Your Country. Right? Play with you. Play with you.
From history to culture, this is Know Your Country. Only on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Right. So we're going to get into heavy talk now. You get some licks here sweating, boy. And you share some licks there too. You share your licks too, though.
Tired.
Yeah.
Are we opening phone lines?
Yeah, we want to open the phone lines based on the. I just want to say something with regards to the when we had the guy here for Mr. Attorney here from Takla Singh, and in regards to what he said about the Constitution, he clearly admit that the executive powers of the government have a little too much power.
Yeah, they have a little too much.
Right? And although he gave the reasoning why we may need that, right? We also at the mercy as if we get a tyrant in power.
That's a question we should ask.
You should have asked, yeah? Because that executive power that the prime minister has, or a little too much executive power, on the good side, they can make decisions without any red tape. Yeah, well, without anybody saying, well, I don't like that, well, I don't like that, I don't like that. No, their decision is final. The cabinet and the prime minister's decision is final, whatever they want to do, once they have the majority in the government, right? On the dark side, right, they could also make bad decisions that not seek the general interest of the public, right? Now, what he said concerning giving people some little more power, right? It comes like whatever decision the government now has to make, right? It had to be scrutinized with a fine-tooth comb, and that will take time. So you think like if the hospitals had to get beds, right? And the government say, okay, we're going to buy 500 beds from this particular company, from so, and we have a problem with the company. We know how to say, well, we don't like this company, what that company, and our next person might say, we don't like that, we want to go there, and why we just don't make the beds for ourselves, and everybody say, so everybody go, we go to buy beds and them from court, so we just don't buy the beds and them from court. So now, all this red tape will hinder the process and make it take time now just to get 500 beds to the hospital. If you understand where I'm coming from, because everybody got their own opinion, because at least all of us have a power and a say. You understand? So, in regards to what he is saying, I want to come into that this also could be, right, a form of a certain level of communism, or not that we say, or socialism, whereby, for example, Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso, where he is although he's the president of Burkina Faso, he's the supreme leader. He don't have a cabinet. He don't have no. You understand? He's in control of it. So everything we say, he want to get this done, tell him how to get it done, and get it done. And this is why you see the progress of Burkina Faso is moving forward, right? The back end of that, or the how go say the negative side of that is if it wasn't Ibrahim Traoré and it was somebody else, right, who was brutalizing the people and killing them and murdering them because just to say for fun, because he crazy or he mad or he's a tyrant, you understand? Then that is where, you know, it doesn't work on behalf of the people. You understand? Yeah. But everybody will praise Ibrahim Traoré because he's doing things good for his people and he's getting things done like mega farms and pharmaceutical companies, and he had he's selling the gold for the people and making sure everything is done, buying tractors and building factories and fixing roads, and he's doing everything, he's building back his country. Now think about it, if he had a process where he had to go to a poll and people vote for him, and next time they vote him out and bring somebody else to go back, you know, doing the same thing and go back into the arms of France and seeking the interests of the colonial people. So this to me is like a double-edged sword, right? And I'm trying it out there to say this, right? To me, our constitution really need to get modernized, it need to be amended, right? Especially with regards to the executive of the parliament and the judiciary, right? I think if these two things fix, the domino effect will trickle down and everything else going to fix. Because we have a runaway crime situation in our country, right? That we don't seem to have an idea how to deal with it, right? And what we are doing, we're doing the same thing that everybody else in government was trying to do. More police car, more brute force, more guns, more ammunition, state of emergency. It's like anybody have any new ideas? I don't even understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And we need to wake up out of this chance. Right? Well, we hear the callers and then we hear what they had to say.
All right, 622-4911, 622-4911. The phone lines are open right now, Trinidad and Tobago. Your calls and opinion, hopefully as much as we could get. All right. The WhatsApp is 394-4911 as well. All right, I do think that we need constitutional reform heavy, but again, my view was that the constitution, as I said before, it works for the people a little bit. Caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, caller.
I agree with you that there needs to be some constitutional amendment.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that these constitutional amendments need to be taken into consideration insofar as the character of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, right, our nation is pretty lawless to some degree. And if you make like a constitutional amendment whereby like you expect certain people, a certain group to follow rules and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
what you might have happening is like similar to what happens when people in traffic and like the shoulder is empty. You know, people just can't use the loopholes and just like use it for their own advantage. So.
Okay, caller.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Caller, you live.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, both Heavy and Mr. Welch.
I was expecting this call,
You guys
Eric.
have been doing a great job all evening.
Yes.
And it's good that you brought Mr. Tatler on board.
Mm-hmm.
Something that he spoke about, I want to speak about. But I want to speak about something that the question you just raised. You know, one of the problems that we have in this country, really and truly, has to do with the speed at which we do things. Right?
Or the ease of doing business.
Well, not only that.
Yeah.
Right? And you see, I have always forwarded the view, in fact, for the last 3 decades, that we need constitutional reform with respect to the administration of government in order to get a better bang for our buck.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why countries like, or I should say entities like Singapore and Hong Kong has left us in the dust is because we are not doing the things in the way we should. On the highway to development, everybody is going at 98 and 95 miles an hour, and we are going like 15 and 20. We need to change the way that we do things in order to get a different result. I have always advocated that no minister of government is supposed to be any member of parliament. I think it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think a member of parliament ought to be a person who's walking among his people, listening to them.
Yeah.
He goes to the legislature and he discusses and passes laws. And of course, he represents them towards the state in order to ensure that he gets the best for his geographical space. So they ought to be separated. I believe that we ought to have a president of the republic, which is an executive president.
Yes.
And he ought to be able to select his cabinet from technocrats.
Correct.
All over the country.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if you want someone to do a good job as Minister of Works, you try and get the best engineer there is.
Correct.
And you give him that job.
Yep.
And so on and all of that. And if we did things in a way like that, I believe that we get a better bang for our buck. I believe where salaries are concerned, a member of parliament in my situation, like I've described, in today's market, ought to get nothing less than $60,000. And the person who is a minister or a secretary to the president, if you may, he should be given $75,000. And the president ought to be given double the salary of a member of parliament, which is $120,000. You see, I also have the view that when you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. You need to pay people for the work that they're doing. And all of this marble and scrabble about money, Prime Minister, those things, they're not relevant. What is relevant is if a Prime Minister wake up in the morning and he starts to do his job. He's doing his job to make his country the best. And when he's doing that, don't let him be bothered by some bill and this and family and with daughter have to go to university. Pay him properly, right? Because there are people in this country who make humongous amount of money, like lawyers, surgeons, all of them, they make humongous amount of money. And you wonder, well, how they could make all this sort of money and the Prime Minister and the Member of Parliament and they're only making that.
Eric,
So
you was going real good until they reached the salary thing. I don't know how you reached salary, yeah? You was going so good until they reached how much you think they should work for. I don't think you should even mention how much you think they should work for. You was going so good. I was going to say the best contribution you ever made on radio until they reach your salary.
Constitutional reform is 3 decades old. I presented
correct, but why you went to how much you think they should work for? That to me that's irrelevant.
Right.
Because if you come into public service and you want to be a servant of the people, right, you shouldn't watch your salary. You shouldn't come to serve the public and serve the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, right? And be a serviceman. Listen, and looking to see how much his salary is. No,
you know. Eric.
Wherever you get, take it. Eric. You come to serve. Wherever you get, take it. You come to serve. But then don't put up yourself for service. But then don't put up yourself for service.
What's going on radio? Eric.
Yeah.
And Heavy, listen, this is the one time that I agree with Eric, you know. So I tell you, the reason being is I agree with him. In public service, they should pay them well. And here's the thing. In paying them well, you should adopt what China and other countries do. If you Singapore, if you get catching corruption, we bust your throat because you're
getting enough money.
That's the one thing I can agree with.
Develop Singapore and you pay the ministers well.
Yeah. So they wouldn't go and embezzle and do all kind of corruption thing.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Because you see, somebody involved in that type of thing for the state. You don't want your daughter bothering you about, oh God, there's only so much at the pay university fee. You don't want those kind of things. You understand?
All right. Thank you, God. We have plenty of callers on the line.
You come good.
They come good this evening. Thank you, brother.
You enjoying the Bali said juice today. God. Caller, you're live. Caller.
Caller?
A blessed day to Mr. Heavy and to Mr. David.
Yes, good day, sir.
I like how you start on the program today.
Thanks so much.
You're educating the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago in the constitutional rights. And when you could bring lawyers on the program to train the young people, you can't teach old dog new tricks. So you have to forget certain people when they call, just give them the minute, and you sign them out. And this is what we want. When you bring your program is getting better and better and better. And this is why. You know one thing I want to ask? The sports day. And the opposition leader. Those 2 days, the sports day and the football match was on the same day. You see, that is competition. And which squad was bigger, if I could ask?
We don't even know. I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, we didn't get to watch it, caller. Sorry about that.
You see, the campaign running very heavy. And I think Mrs. Beckles, the squad wasn't big for 41 constituency. She fall back plenty. You all have a blessed and wonderful day and God guide us.
All right, thanks so much. All right, 6224911. Let's just take about 2 more before we go to the break. 6224911 3944911. Caller.
Heavy, what's up?
Good afternoon. Leave it there.
David.
Yeah, man.
Heavy.
Yes.
You talk about Traore. He put out the French. Donald Trump vexed with him because he's aligning himself with Russia and China. Where the French turn up, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. Recently, we got an ambassador from the French. Only watch out. I will leave it there.
I don't even understand.
That's how he just talk. He just talk like he talking in parables.
I don't understand the narrative.
Oh, God.
Watch out for the French.
Watch out for the French. If you study that, you'll get a headache. Don't study that.
Clearly. Caller.
Yeah, good day.
Yes, good day, caller.
Yeah. Good afternoon, gentlemen, once again. I was hearing a caller talking about you having non-elected members doing the work of a minister, and the elected member just seeing about the people business.
Yeah.
Now, we operate in a system they call the Westminster, not Westminster, Westminster system. And that cannot work under that system.
No, that's why he was speaking about constitutional reform. He said if we have the constitutional reform, we will have MPs, members of parliament, working for the community, and in the cabinet or in ministries, we have technocrats, people who are qualified. Like in the Ministry of Works, we hire one of the best engineers in Ministry of Works. In Ministry of Public Utilities, we hire these people who are expertise in these fields. You understand? So that they will be ministers in these ministries, so that they can run the countries. And the MPs, who the people vote for, they will now deal with the work in the communities and see what the community needs to get an infrastructure and jobs to the people and all these things.
Yeah, well, the reverse could happen. You could have the ministers having highly qualified technocrats advising them and showing them the way. But the thing is, the system doesn't dictate for that system where you have as we said, non-elected members having ministerial position, because everybody who goes up for every candidate
we know how it is in our caller. We know how it is. He was going in regards to what the lawyer we had in the first hour, and we were talking about constitutional reform, and this is what he was asking, all right, for that you think could be better for the country if this was implemented. We already know how it is right now. We already know we're working with the Westminster system.
All right.
And we understand. Right?
The word is
Minster. Yeah.
But what is the alternative? Because I keep saying nobody will present themselves as a candidate if they're not sure or that they will qualify to be a minister.
That's untrue.
Right? That's the thing. If, for example, if they call me for a candidate, whatever party call me for a candidate, my self-actualization is that I know I want to be a minister. I won't go and fight, hustle to seek votes, and then somebody, becomes a minister.
So you believe everybody who goes up for election want to become a minister?
Well, most people have that ambition.
Okay. Right? Even though they're not qualified in whatever position they want to be appointed to. That is what the
system calls for under the British Westminster.
And this is why we're saying the system needs to change. That's why we're asking for that system to change. That you're not understanding. Isn't it correct? As the system.
Where in the world they have that kind of system? What are they talking about? Where in the world? Tell me one country.
Many countries.
Kingdom, the United States.
Many countries.
No.
You know the Westminster system is a colonial system, and even the Great Britain has amended that constitution and no longer uses it.
Well, boy, all I'm stating, right? We cannot dictate to the American system, because the American system is what they call a presidential system, which is away from the
we could go in any direction we choose to once we want to do it. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. We cannot be stuck in our ways and say this is the system we're working with and we have to do it and we got to stay with our system. This is why change is important.
I am not saying we have to work with the system. All I'm saying, what you will call the system, where this will happen, that somebody is a candidate, wins an election, and then some outsider, some technocrat is given the ministerial position.
It happens in Trinidad, but
thanks so much. Thank you so much. It happens already many times in Trinidad. Where somebody didn't win a seat, they didn't went up for parliament, for election, and they are appointed into a particular interministerial post. Right? Many times that happened in Trinidad and Tobago.
You don't need to be
you don't need to be elected to I remember parliament to become a minister. We had a whole attorney general, nobody never voted for him. But the guy who came in after Awari, what was his name? Was Reginald Amor?
Yeah, Amor.
Yeah. Nobody voted for him, and he was Attorney General.
Yeah, you just need to be appointed. Yeah.
You understand? You could be appointed in a ministerial post.
Don't need anything else. But anyway, for all of you watching on social media, again, thank you so much for tuning in to Talk City 91.1 FM. Remember, now you could win too, you could win as well. So if you need data on the go, get a pre-loaded SIM card for as low as $40. Available at any store where you see a digital sign on the outside. Spot the digital sign, get a new number, pre-loaded data, and more. And for all you Digicel customers, spin to win. Win up to $750 weekly in cash. Digicel customers can text the word SPIN to 8181 to enter. Enter now for the chance to win cash weekly. All right? Stay tuned, Trinidad and Tobago. When we come back from this break, with your calls and opinions up next on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Stamina energy. Rise to the occasion.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Dance to the drum, oh. Happy spirits have the sweetest rhythm, oh.
All right, 6 minutes to the top of the hour, Trinidad and Tobago. That is 4:54 right now as we take you all the way to 6 p.m. before we start the wrap up. I don't know why that name. I was gonna say under the.
I really and truly just I have trouble remembering that each name of the show.
The wrap up.
The wrap up.
All right, starting at 6 p.m. with yours truly.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that I couldn't remember the color of life for me.
Oh yeah, callers on the line. Caller.
Yes, caller.
Hey Google.
Yeah, brother.
Yes.
Hey Google.
Yes, you're live,
I think he's saying, "Hey Google," like he wants something. Call back. You don't know, like he on your line.
What?
Hey Google. So he Google phone. Yeah. Who still have a Samsung phone these days?
David, just take the calls. Take the calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the calls.
6224911, 6224911. We iPhone buddies, you know.
David, don't do that on national radio.
Samsung can advertise. Caller.
Caller.
Hello.
Yeah,
yes.
Hello.
Yes, caller.
Yes, my brother Heavy and Mr. Welch. Good afternoon.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.
Yes, I cool, my brother. Yeah, good afternoon. Heavy, I don't know why some of these citizens, but it's more the PNM people that be saying that. Why did they be saying the pitch lake have been so low? What research they did on that? What research? They don't have no research on that. What happened to the library? That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the pitch lake. I always hear them talking about it's so loud. No, that is not true. That is 100% Trinidad and Tobago own. What happened? We borrow so much money from the Chinese that the Chinese will be taking stocks from there for a very long time. But the pitch lake is 100% Trinidad and Tobago own. And that piece of gossip coming from the PNM propaganda machinery, and they want to say it's Kamala and the UNC do it. They're always trying that. Always trying that.
Okay.
Only get that out of their head and stop. The others had a white man making wrongs on the social media, a blogger, and telling Trinidadians, stop saying that. I had to come and tell only the same thing. Stop saying the pitch lake is not Trinidad and Tobago. We borrow so much of damn money from the Chinese that the Chinese will be shopping there for a very long time. And the latest thing we do, we give them Charlotte Street, which is one of the main streets in Port of Spain where black people selling on for decades. We ain't watching that. We give away that street. Give it away. Put 4 dragons on it and everybody humble like a pie and liking themselves with that. But I want to close by saying this to the Minister of Health. What is going on with the CDAP in these locations that designated for CDAP medication? There's a simple pressure tablet. That message come to me that these people are not having, and the pharmacy says a while now that CDAP ain't dropping no drugs. Dropping drugs at least, and try and assist the senior citizens, because some of the things that they're not having, it's costing real money, and you know the cost of living here is kind of tough. So this is the thing I would like to hear more in talk show when we having issues like this. It's like how we had a little crime situation, we deal with that. You understand? Heavy only doing a very great job. You understand? But the CDAP medication, try and keep it in the public domain, please. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thanks so much, caller.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Hey, you know, I'll leave it there. Say, look out for who? The French, not the Iranians, not the Russians, not the Chinese, even Venezuela. Hey, you guys know the best thing the French military does than any other military. You know what it is?
What is this?
Surrender.
All right, thanks so much.
Mr. Nobody, come on. All right, later.
Don't too much, surrender. Anyone say Caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and good afternoon to you, listeners.
Yes, good afternoon.
Evie, you know, I always have my challenges with politicians,
Yeah.
But I want to point out something this evening. You see, I think I can't remember if it's Mr. Lockett or whoever, right? But
Eric,
that position that he is taking, that things cannot be done because the system is how it is the reason why, or one of the reasons why we continue to spin top in mud and be exactly where we are.
Yeah.
Because when it's time to make whatever amendments the politicians feel like, it don't have that sentiment that things are already so. You understand? But if things need to change to get a different result, it need to change.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if it was so for 1,000 years before.
Correct.
And it's still have people stuck in that mindset that continues to give life to this excessive power that you were speaking about. It is when we take that stance and are unwilling to challenge what may not be working in this time of now. When we don't want to challenge nothing and just accept everything how it is because of whatever reason. Whether it's you're just not thinking enough, whether you're a fanatic for this side or that side. But by now, people ought to understand and recognize that is not working for us here. You need to be in a position where, regardless of who is in power, you could say to them based on principle, hey, you need to check this, or this may not be the right way. Once you forsake that position, it means you will accept anything once it's the person who you support giving it to you. And we continue to lose with that approach, Trinidad and Tobago. When will we open our eyes? When?
Yeah, man.
Right now, we're still waiting to hear the outcome of this Joshua Samuru case, you know, because it was clear for the entire world to see. I don't know what the commissioner of police saw, but the whole world saw that could never be called policing. If all you're saying it was a shootout and people shoot behind all you, when all you exited that vehicle and opened fire, all you didn't appear that all your life was previously threatened. All you might as well come out bareback because all you didn't approach that case with any caution at all. No proper assessment, no proper way in terms of engaging the scene, trying to make communication with the vehicle that was already in a stationary position, cannot move, open a number of rounds in the direction of the vehicle, switching firearms. First, you're feeling so comfortable.
I don't want to change the dynamics of the show because it changed a different topic. Yeah. I don't want nobody. Yeah. Right? Thank you very much. Yeah, brother.
Caller.
Heavy.
Yes. Yes.
Under the PP government. The Prime Minister invited Xi Jinping to Trinidad. That is when she leased the pitch lake to the Chinese. But they ain't going to tell you about that.
Why did she do it? You know not saying why?
Go on, after there.
Don't take a call yet. Because I want to clear up the misinformation and propaganda. The pitch lake was leased because an arrangement was made between the previous government, right? With the gas and liquid plant when it failed with Malcolm Jones, right? There was an arrangement with this Chinese company, you understand, to facilitate the assets of the gas and liquid plant that never materialized, and money was borrowed to do that, right? From the previous government under the Patrick Manning regime. When it failed, that's why Petrotrin ended up jumping up in the whole melee with the bullet payments and all these things. That arrangement with the gas and liquid plant that never materialized, some of billions of dollars was taken. And in order to pay back the loans, right, that we didn't have the money at the time, we had to make an arrangement with that same Chinese government in order to repay it. Why you come in here to spread propaganda? Why didn't come and say what it is, Mr. Leave it there.
Go on.
Heavy.
Is it again?
Yes.
The man now tell you it's because we borrow so much money from the Chinese.
Who borrowed the money from the Chinese?
I will leave it there. I'll give my break.
Well, who borrowed the money from the Chinese? Why ain't say the PNM borrow money from the Chinese?
You left it there. Caller.
Look.
Yeah, good afternoon again.
I like saying that you left it there.
I didn't want to make more comment on this thing, but I hear my name called Mr. Laokita, and all I'm saying about this thing, Trinidad and Tobago belongs to the Commonwealth, right? We have to more or less operate in line in terms of the Commonwealth, in terms of what type of government we have here. Right? Anytime we change up the system, that means we will no longer be under the Commonwealth. Hello?
I beg to differ.
Right?
But right? I'm not arguing with you, but I beg to differ. When we say change, right, we are talking about we are not talking about changing from democracy into communism or socialism or anything other than that. We are saying we're using the same constitution, but we are amending it, right, to make the prime minister, instead of we're going to remove the role of a prime minister and remove the presidential seat and make the president executive president. So instead of you voting for a prime minister, you're voting for executive president. We're using the same thing, but we're just changing up certain things. That this is what we're calling for constitutional reform. Because the last time the constitution was amended was in 1976. We're in 2026. Like 40-something plus years and nothing was done about, and the world have changed and moved forward. Understand what I'm saying? Everything changed. Even the British Parliament no longer use it. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying.
All I am stating, right, is that we are very careful what we say on radio, right? Because I am an academic. I spend most of my years studying politics, government, HRM, and international relations. So when I'm saying something, I am stating something to educate people. And all I am saying, we could change, but we are very careful because we are aligned to other international bodies. In this case, politically under the Commonwealth.
And we are in a sovereign nation, a Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, where we govern our own affairs. The Commonwealth have nothing to do with what we decide to do here, with regards how we want to change our constitution.
All right, look what the Grenada change up their political system, and see what and look what happened. Anyhow, I understand.
I want to explain to you
that we just cannot do things any by because the world is governed by political systems, and you choose our side.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think him. All right, thank you, Mr. Lockett. I think you're misunderstanding what we are saying here, because Grenada, right, wanted to change how they were running their country because Grenada was going through an economical crisis and they were asking for help in the Commonwealth at the time, and I forget I think it was the guy named the name the airport after him in Grenada. Anyway, he started to go on the other side with Russia and Cuba and all these things. We don't know. It started to do with Castro and America decided, well, they don't want no communism in the Caribbean because the Caribbean is in their back door.
But there's a state of politics then. That's not...
Correct.
Okay.
Right? So Grenada wanted to change how they govern their country to go alongside, to get help from Russia and Cuba and these other things. And America
There's more
invade.
geopolitics.
Right, but he's saying if we decide to change our constitution and make it happen to us.
The thing is, I think he misunderstanding.
He's misunderstanding.
Exactly what it means to change. It doesn't mean that if we have a right-leaning country or a
left-leaning country,
that position in itself changes.
Yeah.
It is the power, and where the power is concentrated is what
Correct.
will change.
Yes.
All right, so you would no longer be concentrating power just to the prime minister.
Yeah.
Instead, you eliminate that and you concentrate it to the president.
And
then instead of the prime minister or the electoral college voting for a president, it would be the people
voting
of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago
voting for the president.
Yeah, president, and in that sense, voting for the elect.
I'm voting for people to represent them.
Correct.
So in other way, we eliminating the party politics on the whole.
Technically.
Yeah, technically, yeah. But he not understanding that what we're trying to do.
What you're doing is moving away from the House of Representatives.
Correct.
And it to,
no, but the thing is, all this can be found online. And this is a position that Baggio, this is something that Baggio Pandey was advocating for.
Watch. You ain't pull it up.
Yeah. It's something that Baggio Pandey was advocating for. It's not rocket science. You understand?
It's just something that people... the thing is, and I know you know how Trinidad and Tobago was originally formed to be that federation and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a whole part to play in it, but I agree with you. That change needs to happen. Caller.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, man.
It was unfortunate that person who said that he studied and so on, he was asleep during many of those lectures. you all are totally in order.
Mm-hmm.
I know and understand the Constitution. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow, proverbial tomorrow, the Prime Minister and the opposition leader can get together and start one time to change the Constitution to allow for a president,
executive president. Yeah.
Yes, and the whole Constitution changes, and you can still remain in the thing.
In the system, yeah.
Yes. So it's nothing. He feels that we are bounded by something. We could change the entire Constitution.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll go a little further. They can change the Constitution once you get the vote in Parliament.
Once you get the vote in Parliament, yes.
Change this country to be a communist country. You can change the Constitution and put somebody to be president or prime minister or whatever name you choose to call them in a new country for life. You can do anything. So he feels that we're bounded. No. We're not bounded by the Constitution in that way. We can change.
I don't think we're bounded by the Commonwealth either. I don't think we're bounded by the Commonwealth either.
I wanted to say Commonwealth, yes. We could change to this thing president and remain in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell him something, and I hope he listens. Mr. Manning was going to do that, you know.
Mr. who? Manning, yes. Mr. Patrick Manning was going to do that, yeah. He wanted to...
Manning was going to change to that. He was going to think, and he would have gone up for the elections as a president, and that would have been the end of prime minister.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what he's talking about. He was asleep during many of his lectures in the university. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Wow. The topic hot this evening, boy.
Caller.
I just want to chime in here and say to the caller who has this concern. So I understand your concerns,
Mm-hmm.
but if a secretary or a minister is appointed by a president, that president had to have been an elected president.
Yes.
And if that elected president wants to be elected again, or wants to keep the good faith of the electorate, what is going to happen is that president will ensure that he has someone inside of there who can do the job, who represents him robustly, intimately with the population, getting the job done. So that fear you have about somebody who's not elected. When you go and you get elected, you get to be a member of parliament, you know.
Yeah.
That means that you are supposed to service your constituency.
Yeah.
If the prime minister chooses, the prime minister will give you a gift of a ministry. Right?
Not the prime minister, the president. Not the prime minister, the president.
Well, no, I'm speaking in terms of our current system.
Oh, the current system.
The current system.
All right, good.
A ministry held by a minister is a gift of the prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have to give it to you.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, that is what happens. Now, I just want to let the caller know one thing. A very long time ago, across in Guyana, which is a Commonwealth nation, Guyana, Fort Burnham changed the system, and he has a hybrid system a little bit. He kept a little bit of Westminster, a little bit of this and that, and there's a president of Guyana.
Yes.
Right? And he runs the show with his ministers and so on. You know, it's a kind of a hybrid system.
because Ufenali is the president of Guyana, you know.
Yeah, well, I would prefer a system in Trinidad, one that is more reflective of what exists in the U.S.
In the U.S.
All right?
Yeah.
And I have designed an electoral college to elect the president, whereby we take our polling divisions and we construct an electoral college out of that.
Right.
So the person who wins the most electoral colleges become the most polling divisions become president. But that's a long, long story.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you, Kola, I understand his fears, but they're really and truly a misplaced. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have any voice by citizens? Nobody, because I know he's a man that like to get in on these topics, you know. So check the WhatsApp and
he sent one earlier with
when Tikla Singh was here. About 4 minutes.
Yeah,
he just sent some low voice.
By 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
By 2 minutes.
By 2 minutes? We got to play that in the next hour. Wait now, we in the next hour already?
Yeah.
We're in the 5 o'clock hour. Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, I only heard the last 15 minutes of that interview. And yes, we do need constitutional reform because we are supposed to be a republic. Res publica, that concept means public affair, right? Meaning this country, this state is a public affair. The entire public owns it. It does not belong to any small group or individual, as in a kingdom. Okay? The current constitution does not fulfill that because the citizen is not participating in governance. The concept of governance by, for, and of the people, that was supposed to be installed in the parliament, in the legislature, right? Once upon a time, you had the separation of powers. The king had the power to do all three: create law, execute law, and punish. We have separated into the separation of powers. The parliament is supposed to create law as direction for the country and to act basically as a board of directors of the country. The executive is supposed to carry out that direction, right? The day-to-day runnings, and the judiciary is supposed to settle disputes in law and when necessary punish. That does not exist now because the executive in our country is in the parliament. How? Section 74. Go Google it. Section 74 says the executive authority of Trinidad and Tobago resides in the president. However, the very section says, and whoever the president assigns that authority. And the other sections after, 75 and 76, go on to pretty much install that authority into the prime minister. Now, the reason why the president is the executive authority on paper is because the executive cannot be in the legislature. If the president of the United States goes into Congress without permission, the sergeant of arms will grab him by the scruff of his neck and throw him out because the executive cannot and should not be in the legislature, right? Well, in our system, no. The prime minister technically becomes the executive authority, and he also sits in parliament and controls that body, and he also controls the body that is going to decide who the president is going to be, and that president is in charge of basically everything with the name commission, right? So the service commissions and so on. So you see how the prime minister's fingers get into everything.
I see that point. I was confused a little bit while he was talking there because I was like, where is this going?
Yeah.
And then I understood where he was going to when he said the prime minister, as the executive arm of the government, sits there. Because the president doesn't really have much power or authority other than vetoing and stuff like that bills and controlling the armed forces. But still, the prime minister technically in control of the armed forces, a whole technicality kind of thing when it comes to that. And then it's important to understand that we have a bicameral style of parliament in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is why checks and balances are done. Because the executive arm sits in the parliament, we have that bicameral approach when it comes to legislature or passing legislations in Trinidad or laws.
Right.
We have the lower house and then the upper house.
Right.
And what Bazio Pandey was saying is that we should have a unicameral style politics where we merge the two houses together, and we pass the laws directly there and then ascend it to the president. Call us. Call on your life.
Yes, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Based on all the conversation earlier with Takal Singh, is what your name? Takal Singh?
Takal Singh.
Takal Singh, sorry, I was always pronounced it wrong. Yeah. What we have to realize is we have to get penny and ease up. Because we all know that if she fire John Bates and keep Alwari, the whole country will see exactly the person she is. She only operates on instructions. She can fire the girl and keep Alwari. And Alwari is a fella, he is a questionable character. We are the Vincent Nelson fiasco. They have a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a lot of people on social media fail to realize that politicians will talk in parliament, but they don't have the authority to prosecute.
Yeah, they don't have the authority to prosecute.
They don't have the authority to prosecute. They would do what they have to do, and it's up to that arm of the state to do what they have to do. So you can't really blame any government.
Yeah, they could make and amend laws, but they cannot prosecute.
And what has get me is, people still talking about life spot.
Oh, Lord, Father.
Jeez and ages, all right.
All right, thank you, caller.
All right, 1 second. Well, I made a post. Actually, no, I shared a post from someone, all right, on social media today because I wish my happy birthday now.
Right.
And I shared. Everybody think it's my birthday today. Well, it's tomorrow. I ain't coming in. I don't want to come in.
Oh, God.
Stay tuned, though, Trinidad to Tobago. We're going for a quick
We're going for a break and we're going to come back.
Hold on, I have an ad.
All right, go ahead.
Listen, if you're on the go and you need data, get a preloaded SIM today for as low as $40, available at any store where you see a digital sign on the outside. Spot a digital sign, get a new number, preloaded data, and more. And for all you digital customers, spin to win. Win up to $750 weekly in cash. Digital customers can text the word SPIN to 8181 to enter. Enter now for the chance to win cash weekly.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Vermala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
Every morning in Trinidad and Tobago, a new conversation begins. And right here, we take that conversation further, speaking with the stakeholders and voices behind the stories. From news and lifestyle to culture, health and entertainment, we bring you the topics that matter most as you start your day. Join us weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. Watch on TTT or join the conversation from anywhere on your smart device at TNT Today Show, Trinidad and Tobago Today, exclusively on TTT.
Oh, happy spirits have the sweetest rhythm. Oh.
Should be elected by the people on the basis of one man, one vote. And having elected the president on the basis of one man, one vote, the president must be entitled to choose his cabinet from the most intelligent people in the country, not necessarily those who have been elected. Because you see, an election does not necessarily throw up intelligent people. Often it throws up a man with a big mouth. I thought you all were going to say yes, one is speaking to me. But that's all right. So that if our country is to be run properly, we must use our best brains. How are we going to use our best brains unless a president elected by and responsible to the people, see the connection, has the power to nominate, select his cabinet. Having selected his cabinet, the president now formulates his policy for the year. But in order to implement that policy, he must go to the parliament for monies to implement. But the parliament he's going to is not the present one we have. The parliament he's going to is a unicameral government. That has also been said here. We are too small a country to have a Senate. And in fact, the Senate was only introduced into the Constitution because we were following the British pattern. They had a House of Lords, so we must have a mini House of Lords. They serve no purpose, really.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back on the inside. You can hear me? My microphone.
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me? Okay,
yeah.
It's probably my headset. I got your headset. Anyone you want to donate one, man? You your headset. But anyway, so that there was Basdio Pandey, the deceased former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. God rest his soul.
And he was a chief advocate for the constitutional reform.
Yes,
as you were speaking there in his speech.
Clearly. All right, so that there should put a lot of issues to rest, and you correct. Where's the purpose of the Senate? We just appointing people to sit down that are politically motivated to send laws to the president, which in itself makes no sense. All right. But outside of that, I see in good news heavy as we continue, and we take you all the way up to the top of the hour where we'll have the wrap up with Obi and Kingsley. The Ministry of Finance gave a press release today, just a short while ago, and it suggests that the IMF report signals renewed confidence and positive economic trajectory for Trinidad and Tobago. And this concerning to me, honestly, because here's why it's concerning to me. Because just a short while ago, I think just yesterday, last night, I saw where someone did a report. Did I save that, boy? Can't remember if I did. But there was another economic report showing that Trinidad and Tobago, and this was by Guardian, unfortunately, I think. Trinidad and Tobago is about to see a 2% increase in inflation, and it says that our economy is set to shrink or grow? One out of those two things. I think it was set to grow by 0.45%. All right, and that's why the timing of this report, I don't know. Caller.
Yeah, good day to you. Thank you very, very much for playing that clip from the Silver Fox.
Yes.
Yeah, well said. And that caller who said he has where you get a degree from, the Republic of Tuvalu or something? I mean, come on, man. Even if you are being members of the Commonwealth, it is that you share a tradition, a history, politically, historically, economically, whatever, right? And it was a way of still maintaining alliance with Great Britain. And that's basically it. But then Trinidad, just like other countries, decided to go as a republic. Simple. A fifth standard person could tell you that. So I don't know what degree he get from where and telling us to be careful. Look, anyway, but thank you for playing that for me, Silver Fox. Well, when was that? What year was that?
I think it was back in 1990, 94.
No, this was recent.
No, that was recent.
No, he died.
He died a
about
couple
2 years ago. Then he died 2 years ago. Yeah.
And when he did that day,
recent.
That wasn't recent.
I'm telling you.
No.
No, it's not 19 something. No, serious. It's 2000 something. He did that when he came out.
2000 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
go watch the video. We go watch and see when the video was posted.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah. We'll check that. But yeah, thanks again.
Okay, thank you, caller. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't go search it now, but now it's a recent video. This story, boy, where's my? This story with because I confuse. If you see me here, I absolutely confused with the economy thing. Yeah, so Guardian, look at it here, because Guardian Media posted, CNC3 posted, the International Monetary Fund yesterday projected that Trinidad and Tobago economy will grow by 0.8% in 2026, and that inflation is expected to rise temporarily to 3.1% the next year.
Okay.
The Ministry of Finance says here, this is why you mustn't take news from Guardian. The Ministry of Finance in their report says, quote, the International Monetary Fund report signals renewed confidence and positive economic trajectory for Trinidad and Tobago. It says that inflation returned to low levels, but Guardian projecting that inflation rising. I don't know.
My God.
All right, inflation returns to low levels. External position, the current account remains firmly in surplus. We have a surplus in our budget. That's interesting.
Remember, oil and gas prices raised because of the war in Iran. Eh?
But that's just for now.
For now,
things could turn. Right?
I feel like why those numbers change.
I confused, boy. I don't know. I confused. 6224911, 6224911, because according to the, let me read the full report. I can't read the opening of it. All right, let me read the full report here. The International Monetary Fund yesterday projected that Trinidad and Tobago economy will grow by 0.8% in 2026, and that inflation is expected to rise temporarily to around 3.1% this year. In its article, IV Constitution on Trinidad and Tobago, which was completed on Friday but published yesterday, the IMF said the higher inflation-related global commodity price development. The staff mission on the Washington, D.C. based international financial institution said that the country's overall fiscal deficit is expected to decline to 4.6%, that is per GDP, in 2026 from the 5.5% in 2025. The international reserves are expected to remain adequate around 5.5 months of imports. Higher energy prices are expected to support fiscal and external balances in the near term, while the authorities' ongoing revenue and expenditure reforms and new energy projects continue on stream. So okay. So it's how they write the article then, because they write the article as though Trinidad not growing.
And you know, right? That that we're reading right there, right? You know, everybody knows that they are allegedly, or i.e., it's alleged that they are supporters of the opposition.
I get no heavy. I see it all this time. You see me here taking the break, and
why are you even reading?
Because I get confused one time based off the two things that I see. Because I see something from the Ministry of Finance, and then I read from Guardian, and I like, is the articles different or something, or they get two different releases or something?
You feel that newspapers that gross millions of dollars in the last 9.5 years from their party, well, so when in power, will now want to print progress for this country under this regime?
When you go to the article right now, I want people to hear this. All right. Here why I got confused, right? The Ministry of Finance today, just a short while ago, stated the headline is IMF report signals renewed confidence and positive economic growth, right? Well, it says economic trajectory for Trinidad and Tobago. The Guardian article says the International Monetary Fund IMF yesterday projected that TNT economy would grow by 0.8%. When you click on the article, the headline of the article is slow growth, higher inflation for Trinidad and Tobago. That is not positive. That is not positive outcome. But anyway, caller.
Well, when you see all the Guardian of the PNM will take a good rating and put their own spin on it.
Okay.
Let us reflect on what our people have said. Valmiki Arjun, the lecturer at university, Dr. Rampasad, Mukesh Indira Rampasad, Sajiwan, all of them has given Trinidad, the current government, a good spin on managing the economy. So you expect the Guardian, they'll take something good and
try to spin it.
Twist it in such a way to make it look bad. So what we have to do is to get the article from the IMF and put it on social media. The Guardian continue to damn lie, and people have to understand that. But I want to talk another issue, boy. What a feeling for. You see that little child in Tobago? The effort the newspaper put in on that, I want them to reflect back on Akil Chambers. Our ex-prime minister family was involved. Take it as it is. Go back and read the coroner's report and the names. It was a young boy. I'll go and have a nice evening.
Thanks so much. And while it says that in the headline, when you read the article in itself, you would see that our debt to GDP dropped, which means that Trinidad and Tobago, the current government, is paying off the debt that we have. All right? If it dropped from 5.5%, that was in 2025, to 4.6% now in 2026. And it's expected to drop even further as the overall economy is set to grow. Now, this is good news for Trinidad and Tobago. If you want to break it down for Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, a growing economy simply means more opportunity. That's what a growing economy means, all right? The only thing that is concerning with a growing economy is how they manage inflation to keep prices down, right?
Right.
How the government manages to do that. If they grow the economy too significantly and too fast, then inflation gonna rise significantly. Real bad. Caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen, I don't know if any of you guys ever play cards and you pass your hand before time and then you realize, oh, hell, man, I had the winning hand.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the PNM did for this last election. Now, let me go back a little 2 minutes into history with PNM. Each time PNM lose the election, they really demit office after putting the country into a state of recession or abject economic disaster.
Yeah.
Now, we were leading in that same direction in this last election here. And if PNM wanted to win the election, they would have won the election. From the last one, we know they could have won the election. Rowley come and he declare loss even before the EBC had decided the final count.
Yeah.
The last time when UNC was definitely winning the election, all we hear, we extend the election for our next hour, and then a set of different results started to come in, and bam, you hear they won the election.
Yeah.
So we know how things is operate in Trinidad. There is going to be a brutal power struggle within the PNM. Once you see about a year or two,
yeah,
this government function in office, and you see the economic prosperity that we are facing, that this country going to benefit from, and this country start to move forward, you see all them old heads in the PNM going to get wiped out. Penny wouldn't be not even a discussion. The younger set now, because there would not be no coming back for the PNM when you see this country start to move forward and things start to fall in place with all the deals and the gas deal and everything. They will get a handle on crime eventually. But you wouldn't see that right now. So what's going to happen? They passed the hand too fast, because if they had only known that Trinidad was leading up to all the situation with America and Maduro and Dragon Gas and everything falling into place how it is falling now,
yeah,
with all the other companies coming into the country and drilling and things, let me tell you something. There would have been no way in this earth that UNC would have won the election.
Yeah,
they would have find a way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they pass their hand and they say, hey, let me give up this government because this country in disaster right now. What shall we do? All this loans and money and thing and economy down and nothing looking good for Trinidad and Tobago. So let me jump out. So they bust on that deal. And now, where you see that we are facing at the direction that this country is heading to, and then within a year or two, we would start to see how things falling in place, and then you would see a total different change in our lifestyle and the economy and how people will be working and everything. That power struggle, because right now, they are on the highest level of propaganda spreading. And
correct.
They try to say every single thing is bad. If even self a fly sit somewhere where it didn't supposed to sit, that's disaster for this government, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are right now with what's taking place. But as soon as you see things that are fall in place, you see all our Penny and Imbert and Alwari and thing, that young generation going to clean them up, and then they're going to look to try to reform PNM to some form of, is a new regime, is a new entity. This is the way to go, but that would never happen, because then we would see, and I'm saying this, and when our next Prime Minister, Jerlin John, takes the reign of the UNC, you will see a different ball game. Have a good afternoon, gentlemen.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, I like that he said that, not Jerlin John, the other part, where he say if a fly land, is disaster for the government.
Yeah.
Penelope Beckles literally said a short while ago that the Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessé is leading a wicked, incompetent government.
She said that? My God.
I'll read the story.
Wicked and incompetent. I don't understand. You give them life, you know.
It's important. It's interesting, actually. The opposition leader, Penelope Beckers, has accused Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar of leading a wicked and incompetent government, now trying to distract from mounting controversy surrounding HTC and landmark TT. I ain't even going there. Caller.
We just see with that.
Yeah.
Caller.
Every year now, David.
Yes, good after.
Every if Venezuela want compensation for the oil and making us to show you how PNM are be under pressure in the sky today. How come we ain't want compensation for all them immigrant Venezuelan way? We supposed to get compensation for that too.
True.
Also?
Yeah.
Well, because they want compensation for oil
don't
with the oil spill.
With the people.
We supposed to get compensation for all the Venezuelan and them were illegal in this country.
Yep.
But the PNM and them, watch me, they really want to bring down this country, you know. Because they are like some bubbly country. How about a good day, fella?
Thanks so much. And the thing is, with that whole thing, we'll have the minister here tomorrow, obviously.
Yes,
I don't know if he might talk
not
on
tomorrow.
That.
Tuesday.
I plan on not coming here tomorrow now.
Yeah, well.
I'm joking. I coming. But Thursday, we have the Minister of Energy, Minister in the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries that will be here on Thursday. So maybe we could answer some of those questions when it comes to Venezuela. I don't know if you want to talk. I don't know if the government will want to go into that. So let me even say that right now. Right?
Okay.
But on that whole thing, Venezuela just don't want to sign treaties with us for the people, you know. I think
it's ironic when we wanted to send a delegation over to Venezuela. Firstly, Stuart Young went and crossed the line, and then secondly, some so-called oil spill happened all of a sudden.
Are you looking at it like that?
Yes, I'm looking at it as misbehavior in public office with regards to the Venezuela. If somebody don't want us to have negotiations with Venezuela or diplomatic negotiations with Venezuela in regards to the drug and gas, somebody is trying to throw a monkey wrench in the engine to stop it.
Caller.
I believe so. Caller.
Yeah, well, Mr. Pandey's words, the late Prime Minister Pandey's words just tied in exactly with your statement you just made there. The best and the brightest don't always get elected. But there's another virtue Mr. Pandey did mention. He was having a little problem at the time, but that's all right. That's okay. But the most honest don't always get elected. I surely wouldn't doubt me with that one, right?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And lastly, when you were talking about those with university degrees and stuff, right? I always remember my grandfather once told me, he said, what happens when you send a stupidity to university and he graduates? What do you get?
You become Keith Rowley.
No. A stupidity with a degree, he's still a stupidity.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not stupidity with a
That's
degree.
Rowley.
Yeah, but you see, the words really were J.A., but because, the public airways, I wouldn't use that word, right?
Yes.
But that's what they get, a J.A. with a degree or stupidity with a degree. So, university education doesn't necessarily, or college education doesn't necessarily make you much smarter than anybody else, because common sense definitely is the foundation for everything when you just think of it, right?
Agreed.
So, I just wanted to show up that point there. Now, let me get off here before the PNM people call me a UNC, and the UNC people call me a PNM. And
So what are you then? You're nothing.
He's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, diaspora. Send me number.
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
Boy, take it easy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother. Thanks so much. Caller.
Hello, this is Lavantil speaking here.
Lavantil.
Good afternoon.
All energy matters concerning Venezuela, you have to agree with the United States of America.
That a what?
You got to negotiate with the United States of America. All energy matters.
I wish we heard you. We didn't hear you too well.
They didn't negotiate with the United States to come here.
Who?
That he said all energy deals have to be negotiated with the United States before they come here. And all energy deals with Venezuela have to, that we say.
That's not. Caller.
Yeah, I want to say, heavy.
Yes.
You're not heavy anymore, you know. You're well those noise, you know, Mr. Light. Anyway.
A looking light?
you lost a lot of weight and you're looking healthy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You watching heavy?
And
How
you're
long
also
now?
looking more handsome now.
Hey,
Eddie.
Thank you. I'm looking for a day to go and see Michael Jackson.
David looks good too. Always good.
David look good too.
Yeah.
He's so close to you, David.
Yeah, he called
And
for me
also
first.
Kingsley, I love listening to Kingsley at night. Listen to me. This program, your show, and I've been tuning in every day now. And
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Madras Road.
Madras Road. Where's Ashokonas?
No, Madras Road is in Cunupia, in St. Helena, Kelly Village, Madras Road.
Oh,
We are-
okay. All right.
And we are in Central. We are 5 minutes from the airport.
This your first time calling?
No, she used to call
No,
our
I've
show.
called many times. I used to call many times,
Yeah, she
and
used
then
to
I
call.
stopped.
Mhm.
And I even used to call when Julia Davy was on and all those women, and they were just crazy people. But anyway,
Make your contribution.
yes, I will. I'll make it brief. You know, I think that the whole dispute with Venezuela is just puffing and huffing, and I think that's because of Stuart Young, and he's a rat in the grass, just like Victor Roberts. And I believe that our Prime Minister is making very good decisions. She hasn't commented on anything yet. It's a wait and see. And we are walking on eggshells because there's a lot of changes going on right now globally, especially with trade, even the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
And so I believe that we should kind of like stick together and ensure that we guide this government to be making good decisions on behalf of every village and community. And I just want to say that we don't need independent senators, and we should keep pushing this on the radio.
Yeah.
I live in Tunapuna. I live in the Tunapuna Piafo Regional Corporation. And Tunapuna Piafo Regional Corporation is too heavy, too big. And I believe it should be divided up a little bit more so that councillors could serve the villages and meet the needs of the community, which is not being met right now. And maybe the UNC could pass legislation and help a direct attention and access to villages who for decades under the PNM tenure have never had access to information, to knowledge, to access to services that the government offers, that is offered to smaller communities under the PNM constituency, and the PNM have always thrown billions of dollars, but it went to gangs and who trickled down to the citizens.
All right. You got to land the plane now because we're running out of time.
I'm gonna end it there heavy.
Yeah, you're going to end the day. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your call. Yeah, thank you for your call. Caller? Good evening.
Fellas, good day.
Good day.
All right. I just want to say I like contribution early on with my partner Eric. Over years into about a contribution, but first thing actually, thing and you might say no MP and the minister must be different, and the salary they get it must be not so they shouldn't see.
Yeah.
First I'm saying Eric told no. What you say it, which is good.
Yeah.
Like the with Singapore model in terms of the catcher.
Yeah.
But I don't think no politician. No, I want to say we're wishing here because I don't think no politician trader will do that. Because I want to say that's why you see what going on. If you know, sometimes you some real good things.
Yeah.
I love you, but them tell you what, sometimes I can't take when they're sitting like everybody should be wretched dead and think, oh God, don't get food.
You didn't say that in a while, don't worry.
I just feel sorry for UNC and PNM tired. Because sometimes you see majority, some of them, some electorate, and they don't know nothing, boy. Sometimes I just watch people, and sometimes, because, all right, you see, it's not like everybody from the red bad or everybody from yellow bad. You see, sometimes you could come with good ideas, boy, but I feel the system is designed for we just to disagree and just...
I'll answer your question for you, all right?
I mean...
Give me just 3 good things the PNM do.
three good things. Wait, on general?
Yeah, in general. Give us three
Well, I
good
mean,
things.
you know, to me, the education system in junior sec, that was good to me.
Okay, school,
Right.
one.
Right? Number two,
Mm-hmm.
it had some housing thing. My uncle explained to me when they started building houses
Mm-hmm.
and people under pressure. To me, when he explained it that way, even if he lie or whatever, to me that was good.
All right, that's two. One more.
Number three, the social thing with food card and them kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
that was not good to me.
All right, three.
But the thing about it, what's way? This, what you tell me here, it's so deep. If I say we could talk, but I can't explain now because it is a large thing.
Understood. All right.
Well,
thanks so much.
we
out of time. We out of time.
Yeah, we had to go. We out of time.
We'll continue it tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
right?
yeah, tomorrow.
And on the three good things for school, one, they ain't complete none that Kamala put on except about one or so, right?
David, we don't have time for
housing,
this.
Housing two.
Wrap up.
Yes, housing two. They left so many homes unbuilt in Trinidad and Tobago. So many people still squatting for homes in Trinidad and Tobago, especially if you go down Valencia.
David, they must
when
have
you talk,
loose ball,
when you talk social welfare or that, right? You're making people dependable.
Can I say my
dependable
goodbyes?
Syndrome.
Can I say
right?
my goodbyes?
Depend on us, but tighten your belt. All your damn.
Look, you had time. Until tomorrow, we're back here same time, same place, right here on Talk City 91.1 FM. Keep it locked.
And remember, Trinidad and Tobago, to keep shooting for the stars and everything that you do. If you can see it, you can 100% be it. And the moment you choose to give up is the moment a new star is born. All right? And when we're talking social welfare, we carried it to the evening show, Trinidad and Tobago. Opinion box up next with Kingsley. All right? The big bad evening show is next. Stay tuned for that on Talk City 91.1 FM.